Hello and welcome to Gary Goes, and no, my name's not Gary. So folks, I'd like you to come with me on a little trip to Scotland. So my choice of travel destinations, I'm sure like everyone else out there, has been quite limited in the last 12 months or so due to COVID. So yeah, I decided to make the best of that and go somewhere that I've wanted to go to for ages. So I did go to Scotland back last September, didn't record any of it, but decided to go back and visit some of the same places and a few new ones, and also to video some of my trips. So yeah, here we go. Basically, this is the new way to bore people with your holiday snaps, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, and start with the flight in. Why not? First flight in 18 months. I think the last one I went was, I think that was Easyjet as well. It may have been Ryanair, just to Marrakesh, which was amazing. But anyway, yeah, Easyjet flight from Bristol to Glasgow. Yeah, and then I basically went from there up, hired a car, drove up to the Isle of Mull, which you'll see some of a little bit later on in this video. Stayed in Tobermory for about 2-3 days, and then went from there to Oban, or just north of Oban, and a little trip around the Highlands. So yeah, what better place to start than with a landing? And then you can see just on the wingtip there, where the lowlands becomes the highlands, and yeah, you see sort of Loch Lomond National Park and the start of the mountains. Really wasn't expecting that. I went to Edinburgh last time, only stopped off in Glasgow very quickly, but really you've not got to go far out of Glasgow before you get to some fantastic Scottish scenery. And again, you might see a little bit of that later on. So anyway, I'll be quiet and let you enjoy the landing. I'll just give you a little room tour of my family suite, first class cabin at the Yotel Hotel in Glasgow. I know I said that quite posh, but Glasgow, no, that doesn't work. So yeah, anyway, as you come through the door, what have we got? A little unit here to store some stuff, which is always good. Some coat hangers, useful. And then this little sort of ensuite, very Swedish this, kind of bathroom shower area. You've got a little sink, plenty of towels. Obviously it's a family suite, it's only me staying in it. We got toilet in there, plenty of loo roll, which is handy. Anyone that knows me, that's a bit too much information. Anyway, moving on. Shower, looks decent. I don't know if it comes out of there and out of there, don't know. Maybe that's just for your hair, which again is not gonna bother me, but nice spacious shower, all very clean. Don't know how new this hotel is, but there's me, all right. Yeah, nice little chair and stool, massive bed, loads of pillows, night lights, loads of mirrors. And this, I think, is probably what makes it the family suite. We've got an actual sofa, little desk, won't be doing any work, and a big old TV. So yeah, I guess I could kind of sit down and just watch some telly. I'm here for a couple of nights. But yeah, bed looks decent. Obviously, yeah, but it seems comfy. And yeah, pretty good view. Originally they put me in a more standard room, which was still nice. That was right at the front, but it was only on the first level. So I imagine it was a bit noisy, but it's probably a better view of stuff going on. This is, I think, around the back of the hotel, so it's more, well, it's quiet at this time in the evening, but I guess it's kind of offices and things, but still, we're up on the 4th floor, so it's a decent view. I think there's a few office buildings and stuff out there. Nice little derelict area. I'm sure they'll build something there at some point. And I have no idea what this thing is. I'm sure I'll work it out. But anyway, yeah, nice mood lighting. good service. As I said, there was a bit of a mix up with the rum, nothing major, but they sorted it out quickly, and yeah, I'm really happy. Here for a couple of nights, explore Glasgow a bit. Well, there's a bin. Yeah, I do like the mood lighting. I'll have to turn that off or I won't sleep, but never mind. Yeah, there we go. The Yotel Hotel in Glasgow. I'm going to geek out a little bit. I've been meaning to check out this for a while. It's the Glasgow Subway, and only the third underground system in the world after London, obviously, and Budapest. And yeah, it's like a little toy train set, really. It's about probably 2/3 the scale of the London Underground. Only 2 lines, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Hence its nickname, the Clockwork Orange, and you can see the other reason for that now. Yeah, I think it opened around sort of 1898. You can tell I haven't done my research. It was modernised in the late 70s, early 80s. And I think these are the trains from that time, but correct me if I'm wrong out there, train nerds. Yeah, and it was interesting. I went both ways, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Really interesting little trip. But I'm not sad enough to just sit on the trains for the whole clockwise and anti-clockwise journey. So I did make a couple of stops to places just outside the city centre. And this is the Glasgow Botanical Gardens. Very queue-like for anyone who knows London. But yeah, a really pleasant little walk. They've got a TARDIS police box. They've got quite a few of those spread throughout the city, 4 or 5 I think at least, in different places, and there's one outside here. But yeah, it was a nice day, very pleasant for a stroll. Lots of people out enjoying the relative sunshine with a nice little outdoor coffee. Yeah, the whole of that area, it was Hill Head, that was the station that I got off at, and that whole area was quite trendy, really. Yeah, probably the most interesting place I visited, just outside the city centre. There's really cool sort of back street bit with somewhere called the Hanoi Bike Shop, which is a Vietnamese sort of street food place. Loads of second-hand junk shops, comic shops, that kind of thing. Sadly, because of all that COVID stuff that we're all sick of hearing about, most of it was closed, but a really interesting place to check out if you're around Glasgow and we're not under loads of restrictions, and somewhere I'll definitely be checking out again. But yeah, the Glasgow Botanical Gardens, certainly worth a little wander. So now I'm just having a little wander around the main city centre shopping precinct area mainly. So this glass building on my right, that's the entrance to the St Enoch, I've got to, again, hope I'm pronouncing that right, subway station that I was at earlier. But this is probably the main area downtown, sort of the main city centre streets. From St Enoch, yeah, there's a big sort of indoor shopping area, lots of your usual food chains and stuff, and this is going up towards Buchanan Street, which is, I would say, again, please, any Glasgow residents, correct me for my abominable lack of research, but I think this is like the main shopping street. Anyway, it's pedestrianised, lots of quite posh shops and things up here. Yeah, the main sort of place that you'd see your shoppers out and about. I think Glasgow's a bit of a surprise to anybody who hasn't been. You think of Edinburgh as being, you know, this sort of absolute must-visit tourist destination, and Glasgow is just a bit dirty and a bit grimy. You know, sort of a place you wouldn't really want to visit. But actually, I really liked it. I mean, Edinburgh is gorgeous. Obviously, there's plenty to see there, but Glasgow absolutely feels, you know, more authentic. You mainly are hearing Scottish accents around there, and as you can see, you know, the architecture and the shopping and stuff is really impressive in the right areas. I mean, obviously there's some slightly shadier bits, but then there are everywhere. Certainly are in Edinburgh. So Glasgow's absolutely worth a trip, you know, on a little city break. Absolutely, there's enough to keep you busy there for 2 or 3 days, or use it as a base to get out and about to see more of Scotland. Yeah, Loch Lomond and the Trossachs are really close. So yeah, there's the entrance to the St Enoch subway straight ahead. You can just see behind that, I've just moved, but that's was the old entrance to the subway system. It's now, I think, like a Nero coffee place or whatever. Looking up there, all those vaulted windows, that's Glasgow Central train station. And now we're in St George Square. God, I think it's St George Square. I'm quickly trying to Google on my phone next to me for my research. Yeah, George Square. So I guess it's your Trafalgar Square. I know I'm comparing a lot to London, but that's only because I know London quite well and I've only been to Scotland a couple of times. That's Queen Street Station. So there's 3 or 4 main stations in the city centre, and that is one of them. There's your Greggs. Can't go wrong. So this is the banks of the Clyde, the South Bank. I'm here by myself, so I can record a voiceover without looking like a crazy person. Anyway, yeah, so there's a bridge. Can't remember the name of the bridge, but it's cars and pedestrians. A bit like the Millennium Bridge in London and the one in Newcastle. That's the Finnieston Crane, I know that. That's quite impressive. Pretty tall. Over there there's the Rotunda, where I think they've got sort of courtyard eating and drinking. I'm going to check that out in a minute. Not sure if that's open because of the COVID restrictions. There's the SSE Hydro. They have events and gigs, things like that. The famous Armadillo. And then a nice hotel. I'm not sure if you can see, but over there you've got some hills on the way out to the coast and up to the Highlands and some of the islands off there. And then that is BBC Scotland. That's a seagull. Yeah, it's really quiet. I'm not sure if it's always like this because I mean there's not much in the way of sort of eating and drinking, although it feels a bit like the South Bank in London, but as I say, there's not much here if you don't work here, I guess. That's STV there, and it is a Saturday, and it is in the middle of a pandemic, so that might have something to do with it. But anyway, fairly quiet, but yeah, peaceful and lots to see. So just a little bit of a change of scenery. First of all, apologies. I've got absolutely no filming of the day in between Glasgow and me being on Mull. Yeah, it was mainly just a sort of travel day. Went back to the airport, hired a car, which incidentally was fantastic. Yeah, they upgraded me to a diesel Golf, and it was so economical and automatic. Anyway, I'm blathering because I drove from there up to Oban, got the ferry, and unfortunately the ferry that I got was one where you just drive on, stay in the car, so there was absolutely no sights whatsoever. Got to Mull, where I have been before and absolutely love. And yeah, so that's that one day in between. So the next day was a full sort of exploration right around Mull. And actually this is Iona, so this is a little tiny island off the southwest tip of Mull, where you just get another little ferry. There's a fair few on this trip. Absolutely beautiful. And this is where you actually get off of the ferry. I don't even know if it's got a name, but this is sort of the main settlement. That beach before was sort of about a half an hour walk. It's not a massive island, very pleasant to walk in, very few cars. But as you can see, this is stunning. You know, clear blue seas. That's I say the mainland, but it isn't. It's Mull. That's Mull over there, coming from Iona. So it's only a 10-minute ferry ride or so, but an absolute must-do if you get to Mull. Mull is gorgeous. Yeah, I've been twice. We'll definitely be going back again. But Iona is so picturesque and just so quiet and calm. I believe it's where Christianity started in Scotland. I constantly say this, but yeah, my research is based on like 5 minutes, so apologies. I'm not religious, but I can tell why, because it's very serene and calm. Yeah, just getting on the ferry and looking back over Iona. If you go to Mull and don't visit Iona, then you're missing out, because it's stunning, absolutely stunning. Southwestern tip, more or less, well, about 20 minutes out of it, driving back into the centre of the island of Mull. Yeah, this is kind of coming into the mountainous section that's kind of in the middle of the island. I'm about to go and drive around one of those mountains. I think that one with the clouds obscuring the top is Ben Moor, which is the highest peak on the island. Don't quote me, I just think it is. Yeah, the weather's actually decent. It's still a bit cloudy and a bit windy, but we've got some blue skies, and it's a little bit warmer. And it's, I mean, there's nobody here. It's just so peaceful and absolutely stunning. Lots of geese around. That's about it. Amazing. So this is a B road. It says it's marked as scenic drive to Salem from Pennygale, I think. Well worth it. I mean, the road is a little bit hairy, and it's about to get hairy. It's basically going around the side of a mountain. But look at that behind me, and then out to sea, little islands. So yeah, definitely worth taking the scenic drive. I mean, all of Mull's scenic, but this is particularly impressive. Well, this is Tobermory, and it's bright sunshine at the moment. Absolutely gorgeous. Not what we're used to over the last couple of days, where it's been miserable and drizzling and whatever, which is more the weather you expect for the Hebrides. But yeah, it's blue sky mainly, and it's the town is looking its prettiest, I would say. I'm just off to go and eat, but as you can see behind me, you've got all the differently coloured houses that it's famous for. Built up on the hill. That's a good Indian right there. That was yesterday. Something a little bit more authentic today. But yeah, little harbour behind me. Wow, look at the sun. Amazing. There we go, like a working harbour, quite a few pleasure boats and some fishing boats and things. Some lobster pots and stuff behind me, as you can see. Hopefully going to go and try some of that now. That's the ferry as well, in the background there. And you can see mainland Scotland, the Highlands. Very nice place to be on a sunny day, and I can smell the fish, so I'm going to get on it. So just about to check out and leave Tobermory, but just enough time for a quick room review of the single bedroom. I think it's the only one at the Tobermory Hotel. As you can see, it is quite a bijou. I think that's the word, otherwise known as small. But yeah, I mean, it's a single room, it's all right. You'll see, quite tastefully decorated. Single bed, reasonably comfortable. It's basically a mattress on a base there. I mean, you've got your standard tea and coffee, and it's a little bit depleted now, but they had some shortbread biscuits from a local bakery, which was a nice touch. The view is not really worth mentioning. It's, yeah, you aren't going to stay here for the view. It's just the back of the hotel and the kitchen and stuff. I think there's a hill with some houses and things up there, but yeah, not really here for the view. A nice little single TV, which I don't think I've turned on. Yeah, the chair and stuff. And yeah, you've got your little, they've made quite good use of the space. So you've got like your wardrobe area there, an alcove, and then yeah, they've tucked away a little shower and a little toilet. So a little sink, corner sink. Yeah, everything you need. I mean, the soap's really nice. I think that's another local provider, but yeah, it's a small room. I think my mate described it as somewhere that a hobbit might feel claustrophobic, but yeah, if you just sleep in here, it's perfectly fine. This is a nice touch because it's themed on the Highland cattle, obviously. Tidy my barn or grazing in progress. So yeah, there we go. It's the Tobermory Hotel. I've not eaten here, but the food smells great. I've had a little drink downstairs in the bar. But yeah, if you come in and you're on your own, probably one of the cheapest rooms in Tobermory. It's not a cheap place to stay, understandably. But yeah, it's quite tastefully decorated. Just don't expect to be living in the lap of luxury. Not a bad place to sit and have breakfast.